has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Okay. So Darkest Dungeon is about making the most of a bad situation. Quests will fail or must be abandoned. Heroes will die, and when they die, they stay dead. Progress autosaves, so actions are permanent. The game expects a lot of you. How far will you push your adventures? How much are you willing to risk in your quest to restore the hamlet? What will you sacrifice to save the life of your favorite hero? Thankfully, there are always fresh souls arriving on the Stagecoach seeking both adventure and the rest of the sentence. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tommy Trials. My name is Thomas. I thought I'd let the intro to the game play prior to me talking. I figured that was probably the best way to go there. It gives you a vague idea of, what's going on in the story of the game. Now, I have played enough of this game to be dangerous, but not enough to actually, in all likelihood, be good at the game. If you have feedback, suggestions, and ideas about how to be better at the game, put them in the comments. I will read them and try to implement them to the best of my ability. The other thing that you could put in the comments that would be very helpful to me is, hey, I would like to see you play more of this. Liking it's nice, subscribe if you want to see more, but the most important thing that you could do for me is tell me in the comments, I would like to see more of this. Finally, but probably the most important, I'm recording this using a different recording software that I'm particularly familiar with. So if the audio is wonky, the game's too loud, I'm too quiet, I'm too loud, the game's too quiet, let me know in the comments so that we can improve that. I will warn you that we're using this software for this entire week, and I will do what I can in the editing software, but the most important feedback honestly isn't my own ears, it's yours. So letting me know would be extremely vital. We're going to start a new one. I've actually done the first 2 episodes of this, but the software hates me. We're not going to be using Crimson Court. Supposedly, it makes the game harder, and we don't need that. If this series does well, of course, we'll come back and we'll do Crimson Court. That's not a problem. We're also going to be turning off the Color of Madness. I've tried to play the Farmstead, and I'm not good at it. I figure I should have a vague idea of how the game actually works first. So I'm going to leave the Musketeer, Districts, the Flagellant, and the Shieldbreaker on. As far as the campaign difficulty goes, as I understand it, this isn't really easy, medium, and hard. This is kind of normal, but faster and hard. So we're just going to do normal. Granted, I have no idea how long this is supposed to last, but normal campaigns are the original setting for the game. While there is no time limit to win, the campaign will be longer and more challenging than Radiant mode. We're going to go with Darkest. I'm going to go with, could do something like the Tommy Estate. That probably work. But I think we should go with something like I think we should go with the Oh Dear estate. But made to look at least somewhat like an actual name. As far as mods go, if you have skin ideas, please let me know. Skin mods, I'd love to see them in the comments. You can link it, or just tell me over on the Discord server of really good skin mods. I've got quite a few. I'm pretty sure they're all just skins. I suppose we'll find out. Here we go.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
I tell you, the writing of this really shows off, I feel like, the education of the people writing the script. Maybe they just had a dictionary or a thesaurus nearby, but stuff like antediluvian, tenebrous, or arcade, not someplace where you play video games. It's just, bah. It might talk once the loading is done, which is why I'm not going to explain what those words mean, but I will tell you just a little, the more you know. Oh, it is. Great. All right, so tenebrous has to do with a dark, shadowy pathway of some variety. Antediluvian has to do with something coming from before the biblical flood. So if you know anything about the Bible, at some point in Genesis, there's a flood that wipes most of the population of the earth off and leaves Noah and his family. And then arcade has to do with like arches and stuff, like in a hallway and whatnot. So I suppose you could have arcades within an arcade, or an arcade built under an arcade. Alright, so I'm going to put Renaud into a different set of armor here. You're currently in a room, and we'll look at the map in a moment. To move forth, click on another room on the map display. This will take you to a connecting hallway. First and foremost, I'm going to swap the skin of my Crusader to a Crusader-looking skin. This is usually the one that I pick for Renaud. So we can see some of his quirks. See some of his clerks. We can see a lot of his everything. He's got a 40% resistance to stun, so any attack that would apply stun has a 60% chance to succeed. He's got a 30% resistance to bleed, 40% from being moved, and we'll see that as we work. Debuffing and trap resistance. Disarm is of only 50, which isn't great. But he's got plus 10 damage if a torch is above 75, which, again, we'll see how the game works. It's more better that you just see it than for me to talk about it. In town, he can only pray for stress relief. We'll see how that works later. And he's a klepto, which is just great. He's just prone to actually stealing items, which is appreciated. Extra resistance to stun, extra speed. He's not allowed to gamble when he's in town because he's known to steal, which is awful kind of him. I like going with that look for Dismas. Kind of a brigand type look. And again, we'll kind of talk about some of this as we go. We've got a hallway and the other room.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
While in a hallway, press D to move forward, A to move back, blah, 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 if you prefer the blah, 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 blah.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon, then click a highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because the hero needs to blah, 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 blah. So as you can see, we've got Dismas. He has got Open Vein, which has an accuracy base of 95. He doesn't deal as much damage as his basic, but he can apply Bleed, which takes 2 points of health for 3 rounds. And it also lowers the person's resistance to bleed, meaning that if we have another character who can apply bleed, they'll have a better chance of applying it. And of course, it takes some of their speed. But you can see right underneath my mouse where there's 4 dots, 3 of which are lit up yellow, and then 4 dots, 2 of which are lit up red. What that means in a nutshell is that Dismas has to be in one of the first 3 slots in order to be able to use this attack. And it has to be against one of the 2 enemies in the front 2 slots. And we're going to see that on all of them. If it has dots with lines in it, that means it attacks all of them in those spots, not just one. That is a very simple way of explaining it. I'm just going to do this. Bleed attacks do stack. He's only got 12 health. He's not going to live. He's also surprised, meaning that we get to... all of our party, which of course is only 2 right now, but all of our party can go before he can. I'm just going to do Smite. We've got Zealous Accusation, Stunning Blow, and Bulwark of Faith, which increases our... How much health does he have? 4. I don't want him to be able to go. Oh, well, he gets to go anyway. Ow.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy.
Each item, if you take it, will occupy space in your inventory. Mouse over items to show details about the items. Works in your inventory too. We're going to take some gold. We got a little bit of food. Health will regenerate at the end of every adventure. Of course, this is the very intro anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But health will regen all the way to the top after every adventure. Stress doesn't. We have to deal with stress. Stress is the leading cause of problems in this game, I'd say. There are many leading causes of problems, but at the very, very tip is stress. While exploring, you'll often find interactive objects. Click or press W to investigate them. Take a look at this tent.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
We're gonna have to work with dim light because we don't have any torches.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Yeah, we got surprised.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
What's your resistance to stun? 90%? Oh. 50%. Where did I get... Oh, here to hit. I looked at the wrong one. Whoopsie. I'm gonna get the light back up. There we go. Haha! What 2 debuffs you have? Just keep applying that bleed. Now it's 4 damage per round for 3 rounds. It does stack. But if you have more advice like that, which I read somewhere, I'd love to hear it. Just keep trying to hurt this gentleman. I think. And we can actually see, now that we've seen some of their skills, we kind of learn as we fight unit types, as I understand it. So Rain of Whips increases stress and causes bleed. Point blank shot can push someone back apparently and debuff them. And blanket fire debuffs probably this dodge reduction.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Prodigious. The big old words. Oh, I just clicked over that. So once they die, if they die from a crit, bleed, or blight, then they won't leave a corpse. If they didn't die from one of those 3, they will leave a corpse, which can keep us from using some of these abilities. So, for example, Open Vein, he filled 2 slots, and his corpse filled 2 slots. So we actually couldn't use Open Vein on this Fusilier until we got rid of the corpse.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Oh, hey, look, a health stone. Nice. After you've completed the requirements of any quest, you have the option to return home at any time. Just click the crest. You don't need to return to the starting room of the dungeon to exit. I'm going to continue adventuring to see what this chest is. It is a trapped chest. Maybe it has goods in it. It doesn't. It's trapped. But I resisted the problem. Got 5,000 starting gold, then 1,300 others. Got some potentially positive or negative quirks. We've got a +10 scouting chance in the cove. Cool. And we got hard skinned. Extra protection. Only good traits. Great. That never happens. It's always either a good trait and a bad trait, or just a bad trait.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Apologize about that. No real way to turn that off without not knowing who's at your door. So here are the quest goals. Deep breath in. Successfully complete your first foray into the ruins. Defeat the apprentice necromancer. Defeat the sonorous prophet. Defeat the necromancer. Defeat the fulminating prophet. Defeat the necromancer lord. Defeat the gibbering prophet. Defeat the wizened hag. Defeat the brigand 8-pounder. Defeat the hag. Defeat the brigand 12-pounder. Defeat the hag witch. Defeat the brigand 16-pounder. Defeat the swine prince. Defeat the flesh. Defeat the swine king. Defeat the unstable flesh. Defeat the swine god. Defeat the formless flesh. Defeat the siren. Defeat the sodden crew. Defeat the alluring siren. Defeat the sunken crew. Defeat the beguiling siren. Defeat the drowned crew. Defeat the... Repel the... There's a lot. Anyway. We'll get there. Just one of those things where please let me know if you're enjoying this, because I'd hate to do this for no one to be interested. We can also press the H key. Stagecoach, as I understand it...
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
As I understand it, the... Stagecoach is one of those things where you should always...
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Oh, missed it. Always upgrade every chance you get. Apparently. That's what I've read.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
So as you can see, we had to spend some of our heirlooms. You spend heirlooms, which we collect in the dungeons, to upgrade things primarily. And as you can see, we've got our busts, our portraits, our deeds, and our crests. Wants me to embark. I'd rather look at things first.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings. Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Where are you? You're a Vestal. You're not an Airblist. These other buildings will become available as we go.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Bummer. I was kind of hoping we'd get emboldening vapors. That's handy. You get extra damage and extra speed. But we do have battlefield medicine, which will heal and cure blight and bleed, which is useful. And we've got the bleed, which we can apply. Plague grenade for the back 2. Noxious blast, which will apply blight to the front 1 or 2, depending on how many moves we get. As far as our Vestal goes, we've got Mace Bash, not helpful. Judgment, that's useful. Divine Grace, not helpful. Hand of Light, not helpful. And the reason that's not helpful is because we're going to put her in the back. Because you need to be able to use Divine Grace and stuff like that. She gains extra stress versus Unholy, not useful. Plus 10 scouting chance in ruins, which is useful. Plus 20% stress heal received in a brothel. Okay.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Now, I am going to tell you that's the layout that I always use, and it's best. You can see where they would prefer to be, where they'd prefer to attack. You can also look at each individual option. He can only use all 4 of his abilities in the front 2 slots. One of the reasons he's in the front. Dismas actually prefers either the 2nd or the 3rd slot because he can use his open vein in any of those spots, and his guns can be used there as well. But I put him here because she does best in the back 3. As you can see, All of her abilities are able to be used from this spot. And, of course, once we get her a little upgraded, which will grab Dazzling Light eventually and Divine Comfort and ditch Hand of Light and Mace Bash. But we need a room opened up for us. So we're going to go ahead and head out to the ruins and head over to the provision screen.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
So, I don't know if we'll see the need for food on this particular mission. I like to take 12. On occasion, your heroes will become hungry, and you will have the option to either eat, which gets you a teeny minimal amount of health back, but it prevents a 20% stress hit, which is what happens, I think, or you get stress damage and actual damage when you don't eat, which isn't great. The torches we'll see as we use them. I'll talk about those in a second. A couple of shovels. We'll see why we need them on this mission as well. I'm going to take a key, which is used to unlock strong boxes and doors. We have an antivenom and a holy water. Let's grab a couple of bandages while we're at it. Don't want to spend too much money. If you don't use these things, you do sell them back at a loss. Back to this charming caretaker of the Odir estate. Here we go. So, torches. Why are they so important? Well, there are, I believe, 4 different layers of light, and then no light at all, I think is how that goes. Right now we're at Radiant Light. We have higher dodge chances, higher scouting chances, and a very high chance that monsters will be surprised. As we lose light, our dodge chances will go down, our scouting chances will go down, the monsters being surprised will go down, the odds of us becoming surprised will go up. When you are surprised, it reorientates, however that's pronounced. It will move your guys all the way around, which can cause an issue, especially if you've got someone like Reynald in the back, where you just have to take turns moving him up, which isn't great. Plus, the enemy all gets to go higher stress, and I think they deal more damage, so it's not the best thing ever. We only need to explore 90% of the rooms. I'm going to go in a lovely arc and just skip this middle one. I don't know what's in that middle one, but of course, as we investigate, we lose light. There you go. Now there's a chance to get stress. Monsters' crits will go up, so I'm going to burn a torch to get the light back up. We were surprised anyways. The thing I didn't want to have happen happened. I'm just going to try and make this work. As you can see, the bone rabble, they are unholy, so the stress chances, I think, for her go up, right? Yeah. She gains more stress when she fights them, which isn't great. Also, if you have name suggestions, for anyone but Dismas and Reynald, I'm going to keep them the same, but everyone else you can rename. I'll be looking forward to reading those names in the comments. But for now, let us just start applying Blight. Or think about applying Blight and fail. Five to 9, I might just manage to kill him. Obviously, I can't make him bleed, but okay. Reynald being in the back's extremely inconvenient. There, now he's at least useful. Ow. Move you back so you can use your gun. Maybe succeed this time? There we go. 5 damage per round. Blight does a good chunk of damage. And if you can get him bleeding and blighted, it's even better. At least if we get really turned around backwards with our crew, right now at least, she has some upfront abilities that she can use.
Another one falls.
Noxious Blast!
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
I think we started with 20 stress. That's lovely. Unlock Strongbox. We're good to go. Eldritch Killing Incense. Gotta shovel a couple of deeds. We have a trinket, don't we, that gives us more health but less speed. I should have put it on Reynald. Actually, I probably should have put it on Dismas. Anyway. I believe... Oh, good. We're scouting. I believe walking backwards causes more stress. In case you're curious, it's a treasure room. That's a battle room with a curio. We cannot be surprised if we've scouted and know there's a fight, which is great. Also helps you make decisions. I don't know what our scouting chance is. I know it's a higher chance because she's giving us an additional 10% because we're in the ruins. So, I'm learning things, but again, any kind of info you can give me, I'd appreciate.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Here's why we brought a shovel. I brought 2 shovels and we found one. If we were to clear the obstacle by hand, it will take considerable effort. It will hurt everyone and cause stress. Now, we could backtrack, but I'm not about that. We have a fight. Let's burn the torch.
The light, the promise of safety.
Pistol shot's gonna do what? 5 to 9? Or 5 to none? Plague grenade! Ugh. What was the odds of that happening? 20%? We want to get rid of this acolyte. The primary reason being she has an ability. No, we can't see it yet because she hasn't used it yet. But she has an ability that causes stress. I'd like to prevent that from happening. If I can.
Executed with impunity.
Now, I believe that little skeleton had defense, or protection. He doesn't now, but protection reduces incoming damage. Plague grenade. There it is. This deals how much? 3 to 5? Let's do it. Or miss her again. Fine, strike her with lightning. Better than nothing. 4 damage, she's done.
A death by inches.
Ow. I'm going to do that because I would like to be able to heal him.
We require only the strength to follow it.
If I can have a chance to heal him before we go, I can, and so I shall. And the blight's gonna kill him anyway. Oh, Reynolds got him first. Bye-bye.
To the pit.
Back to the pit. Anywho. Nothing in this room. No scouting to be done. Oh, okay. That was on cue.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
I was getting ready to say, now we have a kleptomaniac, so we could at any moment just
In radiance,
see something and try and take it. That is irritating. Now we packed a key, so we have a key anyways. He doesn't share with the group. It's just gone. The big issue is if he tries to take something that has a negative trait associated with it. So let's say he sees something that's going to cause significant stress. He just gets the stress even though you didn't tell him to do it. Which is a lovely little issue to have. Alright, now this gentleman is definitely alive. And if it bleeds, I can kill him. Now. Oh, good. Actually resisted the bleed. There's a stressful incantation. There it is. 15 stress. As you can see, it says out of 200. If they hit 200, I'm pretty sure they have like a heart attack and die. But once it hits 100, then they will get some sort of stressful thing. So, for example, abusive means they'll start to yell at their fellow adventurers and cause them stress, which is just the best. What is your dodge chance? 13? I don't know if that's high or not. I assume it's high. What's your stress, or what's your dodge chance? 0. 10. I don't know why I'm looking. This means nothing to me. Plague grenade. Ah, you vile woman. Let's do Grape Shot Blast because I know it'll damage the guy in the middle. Stop. Plague grenade. Ow.
Waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Stress from the critical's fun.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I'll take it. Oh, resisted it. Good. Plague grenade! Don't resist it this time. Thank you. She'd be dead by now if that had... Anywho, how are we doing? 19, 17, 25... If you get a critical on heals, it will reduce stress. There's additional blight. She's done. Don't suppose I could make this last long and...
is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Nope. Ah! Just go ahead and use that antivenom. I feel betrayed. I fought for a treasure room and it was just a trapped chest. Keeping an eye on the blood. Ah!
Mechanical hazards possessed by evil intent.
Ow. I'll have you know that when we recorded this the first time, this went way better. Alright. Got more scouting. If we know a trap's there, we'll see it and we'll be able to disarm it. Don't steal the loot this time. Thank you. I apparently cannot use the medicinal herbs for what I thought I could. Oh, there it is. So you can eat food, regain some health, or you can eat nothing and take 20% damage plus stress. Which we don't exactly want.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
This is why I'm happy I packed more shovels. Now, if I can just keep people's stress down, which isn't going well at all. Template Gauntlet causes stress. That was 23. Ugh. I want to get rid of this little courtier.
Press disadvantage.
Oh, that worked out.
Give them no quarter.
Let's go for a solid plague grenade. Plague grenade. I choose to believe that our plague doctor says that every time they chuck one. Just a good old plague grenade and then chucks it. I'm just going to go with... What's your resistance to stun? 25. 75% chance to stun. There we go. Ow. Now, once they've been stunned, they have a very high stun resistance for turn. I'm going to try and... 4 damage. It has 10 health, so... Ugh. Dismas went to XCOM school. Plague grenade. There we go, he's done. I don't really care about healing. We'll should be fairly fine. Have a higher damage with smite against unholy, which is what these guys are. I want to tell you to do your job, but how exactly do you miss with a lightning bolt?
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Continue adventuring. I want what's in this chest, even if it's a trap. It's mine. I want it. All of the treasure rooms on this dungeon have been lies. I feel deceived. We didn't do horribly on gold. I don't know how much we spent to get in, but I assume we got more out than we put into it. Got some quirks. I will click the happy side because that's what I want. Nope. Severe fear of enclosed spaces. That bodes well. 15 damage when the warrants. At least it's positive. Minus 10 active. Minus 10 blade. This is going swimmingly.
The tents are pitched, banners fly, and the corpse wagons stand at the ready. The circus has come to town.
Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place and become severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium, butcher circus, which we're not going to use. And some other rooms are now open as well. Cancel, I don't want your stupid circus. As far as the tavern goes, it's stress relief.
Cards and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the tavern and abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity for each hero depending on the quirks. Committing a hero to an activity locks them in that activity into the next week. You'll have to take a different hero with you on your next quest. So, we happen to know that she does better in the her stress is already in the high, almost 80, so we're just gonna spend the 1500 to get it better. Her stress is at 50. Chance to turn any miss into a hit. That's convenient. She doesn't do well in melee. Good to know. And she doesn't have as much health. Show, but nothing that indicates that we can't. I'm gonna plop her in the bar. You hate to spend this much gold this early on stress, but I'd like to get it down. And people are gonna tell me, just let it go. Maybe I should have. Got our trinkets, of which I'm going to apply to some. And then the abbey up here.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
Okay, let's check out our stagecoach. Can I upgrade the stagecoach again? Again, I read somewhere that this is the thing to do. Continue to upgrade how many people are available. Got a Vestal. Got to change her look, otherwise I'm going to confuse myself with that Plague Doctor look. There we go. She's got healing. The illumination isn't great, but I could put her in the 3rd slot. It's a pretty good success.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Got our 2 front slots. He does not do well in the back. Is a Spartan. I have shield breaker, but I have Spartan skins. Less stress in the Warren. In town, will only visit the Brown. Minus 4 speed on first round. Minus 5 dodge on first round. Ugh, ah. Do you have Pierce, Puncture, Adder's Kiss, which is only in the front, and Captivate? Maybe not. Hey, you can do well in the back. Hound's Rush does well. Ha. Hey, you do well in the back. Not gonna say that you're particularly good, but you do well in the back. Come on. You and your little dog.
Man and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
I like the look there. Does it change the look of the dog? Oh, one of them's got like a golden retriever. Yep, you'll do. Alright, and if you do see little things, because I am recording in Streamlabs, so if you happen to subscribe while I'm recording, it will pop up on the screen, I think. If I understand how this works. So, they're busy having a time. She does well in that third slot, actually, with her abilities, and then he does well in the back. It's kind of a different crew. We're still taking Renauld and Dismas, and we'll probably... I'm thinking between... Ooh, that would be very good. Yeah, alright. Well, we're going to do... I don't know what this one's called. I think it's just exploration medium length mission. Super official name. But if you did enjoy this, please like it. If you want to see more content like it, please subscribe. And again, I'll be reading the comments very excitedly to see feedback, which I asked about at the very beginning. But I hope you have a great day.